All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I know that I'm on here later than I usually am, but then again, my work schedule has changed over the last month or so. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a lot to get into. I mean, the Eagles have a few unreported, undrafted rookie free agents that they went ahead and signed, kind of like the likes of wide receiver out of Florida, Trayvon Grimes, linebacker Jaquan Bailey, who I'm kind of excited about. He's got a lot of hype around him for undrafted rookie free agent. I kind of want to see what he can do. I think he can come into camp and compete for a starting linebacker spot, but we'll just have to see. Another thing as well, I want to get into this article, that came out by NFL analysis analysis.net. Basically five way too early bold predictions for the Eagles in 2021, but I absolutely love it. So we're going to go ahead and get to talking about it. So right here it says the Philadelphia Eagles seem to have the majority of their roster set in stone and ready to go for the 2021 NFL season. One, I disagree with that, but let's get into these 5 bold predictions. Number 5, Jalen Hurts is the clear-cut starter. Well, I think that one's, that one's a good to go. That one's good to go. I think we know that by that point. I don't think that one's very bold. I mean, there are some rumors saying that the Eagles might trade for Aaron Rodgers, but then again, I'm gonna go ahead and put that talk to rest because one, I think they've already committed to Jalen Hurts, at least for this season, and I don't think that they need to give up what the Packers would want for Aaron Rodgers in order to make that trade happen. Number 4, the second-year quarterback will make the Pro Bowl. I would love it if Jalen Hurts made the Pro Bowl. I would absolutely love it if Jalen Hurts made the Pro Bowl, because then that means that we did something good, and I'm excited for Jalen Hurts. I want Jalen Hurts to do well. I want him to perform well this season, and I think that we set it up for him so that he can do the best that he can with this one year. With obviously drafting the likes of Devontae Smith, drafting the likes of Landon Dickerson, 2 guys that Jalen has played with before. And number 3, Devontae Smith will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's possible. Guys, we drafted a Heisman Trophy winner. One of the best wide receivers, arguably one of the best wide receivers in this draft class. It's possible that we have finally found a Rookie of the Year candidate once again. Also number 2, Philadelphia will make it to the postseason. Yeah, I hope so. I do and I don't. I do and I don't. Of course, I obviously always want the Eagles to make the playoffs, and I always want the Eagles to be competitive and compete and defeat their division rivals. But it's hard to see that happening, guys. It really is. It's hard to see that happening. So, we'll definitely have to see about that. And number 1, lo and behold, probably the top, biggest, boldest prediction out of this entire article is that Nick Sirianni wins Coach of the Year as a first-year head coach. Now, look, I'm not gonna put any of these bold predictions to bed. I mean, they're predictions. And nothing has come to light to oppose them yet. But that is a big one. And I honestly, I hope for the best. I hope for Nick Sirianni. I have a lot of faith in Nick Sirianni, and I am excited about the potential of Nick Sirianni. But Coach of the Year as a rookie head coach, I mean, you're going up against the likes of Bill Belichick. You're going up against the likes of Sean Payton. You're going up against the likes of Cliff Kingsbury, Matt LaFleur, Cliff Kingsbury. If we're going to make early predictions as far as Coach of the Year, I'm going to go ahead and say that Cliff Kingsbury is probably going to be there at the very end there in the running for Coach of the Year, just given all of the things that the Cardinals have done. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think about that. Leave any comments or questions or concerns in the comment box below. So we can get to talking about it. The other thing I want to talk about too is the Zach Ertz thing. You know, we've exhausted it to no end, honestly, at this point. And is he going to leave? Is he going to get released? Is he going to get traded? What are we going to do there? I want to remind everybody that Howie Roseman did give Zach Ertz a contract offer last offseason. It's been Zach Ertz negating being on this team the entire time. That is why Zach Ertz is probably not going to be on this team, is because Zach Ertz continues to hold his ground and want to leave. The thing is that no team is willing to pay him what he wants, what he's making right now. So we'll just have to deal with that. We'll just have to deal with that. You know what I mean? So the other thing I want to bring up too, what does this mean, these wide receivers and their development, drafting Devontae Smith, picking up a Trayvon Grimes. Let's talk about Trayvon Grimes for a second. One, he's about 6'3", 215 pounds, or 6'4", and he has that physical prototype body like a Travis Fulgham. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted. Actually, he was a dark horse sleeper that I wanted the Eagles to go ahead and grab. But, will he compete with Travis Fulgham for that spot? Because here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be Travis Fulgham. I think it's going to, before we brought Trayvon Grimes into the equation, I think it was going to be Travis Fulgham, Jalen Reagor, and Devontae Smith, as your starting 3 wide receivers. You got to factor in Greg Ward somewhere in there, to come in on maybe third downs and things like that. He's phenomenal at that. Greg Ward's story is phenomenal. And obviously, as we know, he was on the practice squad for the Eagles for about 2 years, transferred from the quarterback position to the wide receiver position coming out of college, and has done some great things for the Philadelphia Eagles. Came through in the clutch in 2019 for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he also played pretty well in 2020. It's just that our quarterbacks didn't play well, obviously, as we all know. But shoot me a question, shoot me a comment. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. It is an open conversation type of night. I know I'm on here a little late, but, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. That is the main factor in tonight's podcast. So we don't have to just talk about the NFL. We could talk about anything you want to talk about. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Let's talk about Carson Wentz for a little bit. Do you guys still believe that he will return to MVP form for the Indianapolis Colts? I certainly do. I think he's going to go far. I think we're going to see it right away. I think his personality is going to return to normal. I think he's going to return to normal. I think he's going to be back to being the leader that he needs to be. Kind of the things that he showed us when he was first in Philadelphia. So I do believe Carson Wentz is going to return back to form, that MVP form that we knew he could always be, and he was in 2017 for the Indianapolis Colts. And I mean, you hear about Frank Reich, giving him high praise and things like that, not thinking that the drafting of Jalen Hurts had anything to do with that. It's all, I believe it 100%. There's nobody that really knew Carson like Frank Reich when Carson first came into the league. And I think that had a play. That could have possibly had a thing to do with it too. You know what I mean? It's like losing your best friend. You go to all the same concerts and shows together, or you take all the fun stuff together, and then all of a sudden one leaves and you have a little bit of a separation kind of anxiety or whatever. But Carson was not the same. Carson was not the same, people. Carson was not the same. I gotta say this. we're jumping topics quite a bit tonight, but I do want to say this is I am really excited for Patrick J's Jets. Patrick J's Jets, I'm really excited for it. They did a phenomenal job in the draft. They got some good players in free agency. They did some phenomenal things. Like drafting Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive lineman. Getting Zach Wilson obviously was the big ticket item, but then still being able to get Rondale Moore, and then even after that, Michael Carter, who I had a running that he should have been a second rounder, and they were able to pick him up in the 4th round, which was absolutely phenomenal. That nature. So the Eagles, however, I do want to say this: the Eagles, however, I feel like we had a Howie Roseman type draft. To be honest, I feel like we had a Howie Roseman type draft. I am excited for some of the picks. Like obviously, I've talked about with Patrick J on the air. Safety Jacoby Stevens out of LSU, Patrick Johnson II, out of Tulane. I'm excited for Devontae Smith. Obviously, I'm excited for Kenny Gainwell, running back out of Memphis, and I think that I have some unspoken excitement for the defensive tackle we took, Stanley Tufuofu, or however you say his name. And so out of USC, and I think there's some good things to be had. I really do actually like the potential of Stanley Tufuofu. Blah 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 blah. So we'll just have to see how this all pans out. You know what I mean? But speaking of that, and just jumping back real quick to the Aaron Rodgers talk, is where do you guys think he's gonna go? The Broncos would have made sense. The Broncos still make sense, to be honest with you. The Broncos still make sense because we know how much John Elway loves to get his veteran quarterbacks, obviously, winning the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and things like that. But I was still shocked. To see the Eagles being listed as one of the possible destinations. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I think no matter what, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be linked to trade rumors, and that was reported, by Bleacher Report. So we'll just have to see how that pans out, But I am severely excited with Jalen Hurts. I really am. I'm really am impressed with what he's been able to do in the offseason, how he's already trying to gain that leadership. He's already taken on the leadership role. He just comes with a natural magnetism that the guys gravitate towards. So I think he's going to do a phenomenal job this season. I think he's going to shock a lot of people. But with that said, again, I just wanted to check in and pop in here on a Tuesday evening. Hopefully I can get back to doing this regularly with you guys. And this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have a beautiful Tuesday night. Stay safe, stay healthy. And shout out to AJ Styles, one of my loyal subscribers. I have you in my prayers, my man. He just lost a friend just the other day, a close friend. So keep him in your prayers. And I certainly do, AJ. So have a good night, everybody. Go Birds.